All right, folks. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play F1 Manager. So I was doing a few little things just before I pressed the record button, or the go live button. A bit of a warm up, warm the throat up, made a fool of myself. And then when I pressed the live button to go live, the preview screen was showing me as live, but it was still showing me doing the silly stuff. So that's why I was looking a bit perplexed when I started this stream. Like, I was doing that before I hit live. I'm going to have to double check that I cut that out because I look like an idiot. Talking to myself and doing some strange arm movements. Anyway, hello, welcome back once again to Let's Play F1 Manager. We're here in Saudi Arabia for the second race of the season after a fantastic first race. Quite high action, lots of drama in terms of people going off, but ultimately we finished first and second, despite our car being a little bit slower than we would have liked. Anyway, we'll see what happens here today. I'm going to take you through Q3. We've done Q1 and Q2. We'll do Q3 and the race and see what happens. Now, for some strange reason, well, not strange reason, Virgin have had a few issues this week. I am getting some dropped frames because of some internet problems, I have noticed. So you may find this stream stutters on occasion. I do apologise, but for the most part it seems to be stable, just with the occasional blip. So there's your word of warning. Good old Virgin. Right, okay, so before we dive into Q3, an interesting fact from the first couple of sessions. First session. Oh, here we are. So Q1, we finished, I think about 4th and 5th, or 4th and 6th, or something like that. We were quite close, 129.1s. We were quite happy with our pace there. Everybody else around about the 128.8, 128.7, 128.8. You know, that was a kind of pace. We come to Q2, and we qualified 4th and 8th. Which I think Lando got held up a little bit by traffic. We're not overly concerned by that because we're just trying to get into the final top 10 shootout for Q3. So that was fine. Lewis pulling out a 129.0, which is a tenth faster than his Q1 time, so that was pretty good. Got him up to P4. The scary thing is, everybody else was doing a similar pace to the first qualifying. Apart from Max Verstappen, who somehow managed to find an extra 0.4 of a second, getting a 128.3, miles quicker than anybody else. I'm like, where the hell did that pace come from? It was like, 0.4 quicker than his nearest rival. And I'm like, that's particularly frightening. 0.6 faster than us. Now this was a lap. Lewis's lap was a lap done in clear air. No issues, no mistakes. 0.6 slower than Max. It's not good, is it? But anyway, so we'll see if Max has that same kind of pace in Q3. I don't think I've seen it in this game. I'm sure these other cars will have had clear runs too. That the first driver was so much faster than the rest. It's a bit odd. But anyway, we'll see what happens in Q3. Maybe it's a freak lap. One of those kind of, laps that you provide once every couple of seasons, where you literally ascend to kind of a higher place. Where you ask him, how did you do that after the session? He's like, I don't know. It was like I was just tuned in. Hamilton did it in Singapore a few years ago. Senna in Monaco did one of the best laps I'd ever seen. Well, it wasn't actually seen. In fact, there was no on board of it. But he qualified. I can't remember the gap, but it was like a second or something ridiculous faster than his teammate in the same car. It was like a lap from the gods, basically. So it's kind of one of those situations. Not on the same par as that, but not too far off, I would suggest. But anyway, this is now Q3. We have 2 sets of softs available. The strategy for the race will be medium hard, so nothing too exciting. So we can use both soft tyres for our 2 runs here. So without further ado, let's dive in, I suppose, and see how we fare in Q3. I'll be happy with 5th and 6th, to be honest with you, at this rate. Okay, so 10 cars.
Radio check.
10 cars We're going to send... Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, touch a bit of potato, diddle do. Right, Norris out first. That was a precise science of a decision as to who to send out first there. Like an ip-dip-do. Cat's got the flu, dog's got the chicken pox, and out goes you. And you're going to be like, well, you ended on Hamilton, but you picked Norris because I was picking the person that I was going to not send out, basically. If you start with your conspiracy theories that we're favouring Hamilton this season. No, we're not. Okay? Get that out of your heads, folks. No favouritism in this team. As I said, unconscious bias, perhaps. But it's unconscious, so I can't help it. Righty-ho, we are out of the pits for our first runs. I'll take you round a lap of the Jeddah Corniche circuit with Lando. We'll follow Lando for the first run and follow Hamilton for the second runs. A lot of the cars are going out, so hopefully we won't suffer any traffic here. Alright, so it's... I asked the question in the first race, actually, as to how quick we were this season with the cars development and stuff compared to last season. First season, I don't have the exact times that we got in the first race because we didn't see Q3 and I didn't check the times, but this Q2 times were 1:31.6 for Charles Leclerc, I think it was. Sorry about this, I need to make sure that my drivers get the right modes on here.
Maximum pace.
Let's just sort Hamilton out for a second.
Yeah, confirm.
So yeah, they got about a 1:31.6, which wouldn't have been too far off the pole time because they usually do consistent times throughout, unless you're Max Verstappen and pull out 4/10 out of nowhere. And the pole time this season for the same track was 1:31 dead, so 6/10 faster. So the cars are faster this season, which I anticipated them being, to be honest. But it was interesting to see how quick the cars were compared to last season. The cars looking like, well, they are certainly quicker than last season's cars, which is great for the drivers, of course.
And we'll push.
Okay, so riding on board with Lando Norris here as we start our laps. Here we go. We're going to go to the driver's screen so we can see the relative timings. We can see when they cross those timing sectors because we're going to use the data screen to compare the laps. We've never used the data screen last season at all to look at lap times and split times. So this time we are going to do that. And we have a situation where we have a car in the way, and is he going to... Oh, he's trying to turn in on us, you stupid fool! Lando Norris getting a purple sector there in his first run. Hamilton just coming round to his first sector. Let's have a look at the splits. So a 32.5 for Hamilton, a 32.6 for Lando. Bit of interference possibly, so Hamilton going a bit quicker so far. Back on board here with Norris coming up to the back section, which is particularly quick. It's where two of the DRS zones are on this track. He gets a purple sector, but of course nobody else has passed that point yet, so of course he's going to be quickest. But Hamilton is coming up to that section now. Left, right, sweepingly fast. We've got a car coming up. He gets a green sector, not as fast as Lando. And now we've got a 1:32. The split times are coming in now. Lando with a 28.3, Hamilton with a 28.3, 32.6 for Lando there, 32.4 for Max, 2/10 faster already, just on the first sector alone. He is looking like he's absolutely dialed in to the circuit today, and that's boding very ill for the rest of us. So Hamilton, a 1:28.873. Norris with a, well, 1/10 slower than that. Both of them relative clear air. We do think there was a little bit of interference for Lando there with the Alfa Romeo, but nonetheless not too far from his teammate. Let's look at the data screen here, see what's going on. Purple sectors there. Perez with a 1:28.1 compared to our 1:28.3, so a couple of tenths down on the fastest second sector. Lewis Hamilton with the fastest sector 3 so far with a 27.9, but looks like Max Verstappen is just about to come round probably to beat that. Here he comes. Here he comes. Expect fireworks here. Perez goes faster, 128.5. We're faster than Leclerc though, but he must have suffered traffic. Here comes the potential pole man, 128.3. Okay, it's pretty fast. It's pretty quick. We'll give him his dues there. Not a bad time, is it? Where's Science? Here comes Science. Round the final corner. Where's the Ferrari going to stick himself? It looks like the Ferrari will have been in clear air there. No cars anywhere near him. So this is a clean run for Carlos Sainz. He gets up to P3, 4 tenths behind Verstappen. So it's clear to me this season that the Red Bulls are the team to beat at the early stages of this season. They seem to have developed their car better in the pre-season than the Ferraris have. The Ferraris have slipped behind. I would like to suggest clearly we've slipped a little bit further behind than where we were at the start of or at the back end of last season when we were right up there with them. But that's going to be the as I said before, this is the fun that we're going to have to. This is going to be the fun part of this season in the early stages to see how things shake up eventually. But here we go. Final runs after we've changed the tyres. Let's not forget that. Both cars. Tyre changing. Let everybody else go out. Try to take the time down a little bit. We're looking at 131, so we don't want to be... There we go. Let's send Hamilton out first this time. There we go. And Norris out this time. So we'll switch them around for the second runs. Fair's fair on all that. I'm actually going to keep them in automatic mode this time. See if it makes a difference. I don't think it does, to be honest with you. Using either automatic or manual mode. I could be wrong. It might be quicker to do it manually. Burn that extra bit of fuel off, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. So the current order, before we start those second runs, it's Verstappen on pole, provisional pole. I can't see anybody beating that time personally, but hey. Perez second, Sainz is in third, the two McLarens fourth and fifth. Leclerc clearly needs to get a clear run this time. He will, because he's in the train, although having a Mercedes in front of him isn't great because they are slightly slower. And then we've got the two Alphas. So 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Two Red Bulls, two Ferraris, two McLarens, two Mercedes and two Alphas into the final Q3 shootout. So the cars are all crossing the line now, all onto their hot laps here for the final time in Jeddah 2023. Whereas we're just cruising around the back end here, nowhere near. Who is the lead car in this train? I think it's Perez. Perez is the one that's going to be crossing the line first. Let's have a look at the data screen. Perez, first sector, first time now. 32.5, not quicker than the previous purple there. No purple times on the screen, no green times. Which means that they aren't setting the timing screens alight here. They're not going faster than their previous laps, it looks like. Maybe the track is not developing well, not evolving. Track evolution not helping there, or the grip not doing what it should. Right, I'm quite happy with the fact that the internet isn't dropping frames anymore, so I'm going to minimise my preview screen now because it's very jittery, it's very off-putting. Righty-ho, let's have a look. So we've gone slower with Hamilton, we've got slower, we've gone faster with Norris. Leclerc, has he improved? Leclerc didn't improve. Is that his pure pace? He may have got held up by Russell. I did say he looks to be a little bit close to Russell, so he may have been slowed down by Russell there. So he's definitely going to be qualifying behind us for the race. Ferrari, what's happened to them this season? In real life too. Let's have a look. Verstappen, Perez, He looks like he's going slower. These guys are not setting a lap. Okay, maybe they're happy with their time. Now, turn it down, mate. Turn it down. We're done. Hamilton, he looks like he's not going to improve his time. He stays where he is, P4, but Norris is improving. But will it be enough to pass Hamilton on the grid? No. No. A couple of thousandths, really. Yeah. Okay, I do believe then. Maybe we should continue to manually do the engine modes in qualifying. Even if it's just worth half a tenth, it's probably worth it. But anyway, Perez and Verstappen cruising round. Session is done. So there you go, we have our Q3 results. This is the grid for the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen absolutely on fire. Nobody anywhere near him all qualifying from Q2 onwards. When the chips were down, he put in a superlative time, 128.3. His teammate bringing up a 1-2 for the Red Bull boys, 128.5. Carlos Sainz, the lead Ferrari, with a 128.7, and then you've got the two McLarens with Charles Leclerc sandwiching them in. The two Mercedes, 7th and 8th, this is their general pace this season so far, it seems. The black Mercedes this season, 129.1, 129.2, and then you've got the two Alphas bringing up 9th and 10th. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. And then you've got the rest of the guys down here. Not bad at all. So last season's finishing result was a Ferrari 1-2. It's looking like that is very unlikely to happen this season. So what is going to happen? Are the Red Bulls going to drive away from the field? Will these McLarens do something that they did in the race in Bahrain? Let's see as we dive in now to race day.
Race day and final preparation.
Strategy, very simple. Boom, there you go. Yeah, one stop. Two stop is deemed to be on a par with the one stop, but it's very dangerous to do a two stop when there's risk of safety cars ruining your strategy. Remember when that happened to us in Abu Dhabi? Yeah, put us under a bit of pressure. Can't really afford to do that here. So if one stop is possible, then one stop it shall be. I think we should extend the first stop a little bit, so that we don't have as long to do on the hard tyre. We can do that on the fly. And same for Lando, of course. It's the strategy that makes the most sense. So pushing off the line here clearly is the way to do it. Nothing else for us to worry about. We've got fresh compound mediums, fresh compound hards. Let us dive in and get this show on the road.
With the skies mostly clear, tonight's race shouldn't hold any unpleasant surprises.
Shouldn't, but it probably will. It probably
for the
will.
Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
So the lights are on. 4 lights, 5 lights. Long pause, and we are off and going. We're riding on board with Lewis as our lead car, as is usually the case. We've got a Ferrari of Sainz getting well off the line, trying to pass the Red Bull of Perez, and it looks like he's going to make it stick. Perez is on the hard tyre, I noticed there, which is probably why he's been so sluggish off the line. A contra strategy for the second Red Bull. But yeah, anybody else on a different compound? We've got a couple on softs, a couple on hards. Interesting, that's fine. That's fine. So we're in 4th and in 5th, which is where we started, so nothing gained and nothing lost. We'll continue to push for at least for the remainder of this lap. So Verstappen first, Sainz getting off to a good start. He's in P2, of course Perez on those hard tyres. It could well hold us up. It's actually imperative that we get past him as soon as possible. The hard tyres are about 0.3 of a second per lap slower than the medium tyres in this race, so they're not horrendously slow like in the last race they were. But nonetheless, put this microphone a bit closer to my face. Nonetheless, we don't want to be stuck behind it. Otherwise, I got a feeling that the first two cars will drive away from us. So, yeah. We might have to be patient, though. Looks like we're going to struggle to pass. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. I was about to turn us down, but I think we might be able to keep pushing here and get him up the inside of this first corner. We're going to go to the outboard shot here as Hamilton. Is he going to make a move? Yes, he is going to make a move. Round the inside, which switches to the outside, but he's going to get better traction on those more sticky tyres. And we're going to turn down the ERS at this point.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
We're going to turn down with Norris. Look at us, we're right on the... We're harassing Sainz here. Absolutely harassing Sainz. Holy hell, it's... trying to keep up with what's happening here is quite difficult, as both of our cars are looking particularly racy here. What we're going to do is we will turn this down with Hamilton and wait for the DRS to be activated. With Norris, however, we need to get past Perez, so we will continue with this pushing for now. We can save fuel later in the race, we can turn our tyres down later in the race. It's imperative right now that we get past this Red Bull on those slower compound tyres to give ourselves a chance of keeping up with the cars ahead. Sainz is 6 tenths behind Verstappen at the moment, clearly struggling to keep up with the Red Bull. DRS should help in that situation. Right, we're going to go deploy now. In fact, we're going to go to overtake now, in fact, with Lando. So we get a nice blast of ERS down the straight to overtake the Red Bull of Perez here. It's imperative that we do. It's going to use a big chunk of that, but we need to get the momentum. We need to get the speed. Now turn it down to deploy. Is he going to make a move up the inside like Hamilton did? He's a bit further back. He's not making that move. And Leclerc is on the back of us here. That's not what we wanted to see. We have to turn it down now. And in fact, we'll have to turn down the modes too.
Save fuel from now, please. Save fuel from now.
So we're stuck behind him for another lap. As long as he doesn't fall out of the DRS range of Hamilton, we should be okay, because Perez will be pulled along. But there you go. We've got Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, and then we've got two Mercedes. Danny Rick ahead of his teammate George Russell in 7th and 8th. Alonso has managed to leapfrog Gasly here and splits the Alfa Romeos. Look at that. DRS has been broken. Verstappen, if he doesn't win this race, there's something gone wrong, because he is looking mightily quick today. Hamilton is actually looking mightily quick as well, to be fair to him. He's all over the back of Sainz. This is without DRS. Oh no, we have DRS now, I apologise. That's why we're looking mightily quick. And looks like we're going to get him down into the final corner, and Sainz will be able to fight back with DRS, because we were ahead as we crossed that line. So now Hamilton's going to have to defend against Sainz. It was probably the wrong time to pass him. Nonetheless, we did, and look at this. Where's Perez coming from? Oh, we've got almost 3 cars going into that corner there. Perez trying to take over both Sainz and Hamilton. No chance, Mr. Sonny Jim. Not on my watch, says the 7-time world champion. But look at that. Whilst we're all squabbling over P2, Max is out there, Sunday drive mode. One hand on the wheel, cigar in the other hand. You know what I mean? Well, it's very easy, isn't it? It's very easy. Hamilton's up to P2. Can he make it stick? And can we actually pull away? Is the next question. I might give Hamilton a bit of a boost here.
And think about left lifting coast.
I'm going to give Hamilton a bit of deployment now, just to see if we can actually pull away and break the DRS of Sainz, because that would be quite handy. And of course we want to be trying to see if we can get to the back of Verstappen here, so we'll see if we can give Hamilton a little bit of pushing here to catch up to Max Verstappen. Given that there's, again, this is another track where there are 3 DRS points, which makes it very difficult to pull away from the cars behind you. Not impossible, but very difficult. Norris still in P5 right now. Of course, we have that age-old DRS train effect. So Sainz, look at the pace difference, but Lewis is going to be able to hold it. There we go. So this is a sector of the track where there's no DRS. So this is where we need to make our move when it comes to pulling a gap. This is the section. This entire front section of the track, if you want to call it the front section, is where we actually can make our pull away. No DRS zones at all down this side of the track. So this is where we're making the look at that. We are managing to pull away. We are managing to pull away. We've actually caught Verstappen. We're within the DRS now of Verstappen as we continue to pull away from Sainz. We need to break that DRS of Sainz, and that might allow us to pull away from him for the rest of this race, because we can now latch onto the DRS of Verstappen. There we go. Has Sainz got DRS? Let's have a look. Will it activate down this particularly fast section? I don't believe it will. It doesn't. Hamilton is now out of DRS, of ERS, which is fine. We've pushed him hard. Whoa, whoa! I'm sorry.
The hot attempts to do some lift and coast.
He was making a move on. He was making a move on Max Verstappen here. He's like, I forget this. I'm winning this race, mate. I'm winning this race. He's going up the inside of the final corner. It's where he managed to pass Carlos Sainz, and it's where he's managed to pass Max Verstappen temporarily. But he's going to get a dose of DRS now down the home straight. It's right on board. Will he make it stick? He's got a little bit of a speed differential. He set the fastest lap of the race. He's got the pace down the straight. He's going up the inside of Max, which then turns to the outside for the exit. But who's going to get the better exit? It looks like Max has got the slightly better exit here. He's ahead, and Lewis has backed out of it. Lewis has backed out. But look at that. Max Verstappen thought he was in a Sunday stroll, one hand on the wheel, cigar in mouth. Now all of a sudden he's got a fight on his hands because Lewis Hamilton is saying, not tonight, sir. I'm going to make you work for your victory. Which is good to see. Good to see. Right, Sainz 1.4. Let's keep him out of our DRS range, and we should continue to pull away if Max drags us along. Let's look at the tyre wear situation, because we have pushed our tyres quite hard for those opening laps, of course. So we just need to be mindful of that. Maybe a little bit of conservation going on, perhaps, with the other cars. Who knows? But there we are. There is the leader split. We want the interval split. Let's now focus on this man. This man isn't passing Perez, but we haven't fiddled with his toys yet. So I think we'll focus on Lando here and see if we can orchestrate something. See if we can orchestrate. We got DRS, you see, but he gets DRS from Sainz, which is going to help him to stay ahead. I don't know whether or not it's going to be worth having another push with him. I think we might do, not down here, but down the sector of the lap where we don't get the DRS. So we're going to go aggressive and push.
If you can, push. Yeah, confirm.
As Perez has made a move on Sainz here, on the hard tyres, don't forget, which will be the faster tyre at the back end of this stint. So he's doing very well to keep ahead there. Leclerc hasn't really made a move on any of us. He's just sitting in, digging in, and maybe hoping for something to happen. Danny Rick has managed to keep pace there as well, rather surprisingly. We were pulling away from the Mercedes in Bahrain by some considerable distance, but it seems in this race cars are a little bit closer, mainly due to the DRS, I would suggest, at this early stage. Once we have our first stops, that's when, of course, the gaps start to appear, as it did in the last race. Hamilton still in second, just about clinging on to Verstappen. It's clear to me that Verstappen is the quicker car. We are taking advantage of having DRS on him here to keep us in close-ish proximity. Perez in P3, still Sainz there, Norris. We're going to actually go for it now. Down the final straight, let's see what happens. As we take a narrower line there, get on the power nice and early. DRS open, but Sainz of course has it too. Norris is being left in the dust, it seems. We are out of battery, but we are getting some slingshot. He's going to try and take both of them up the inside here. This could be an absolutely fantastic manoeuvre. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Job, mate.
Oh, Hamilton's taken the lead. We'll see that on the replay. We'll see that on the replay. Let's have a look at that as things are happening with Norris too. So here comes, it's a DRS pass down the main straight, but here he is, Lewis Hamilton. Gets half a car length ahead into the first corner, and he is up into P1. Verstappen did fight back, but it looks like, have we made that pass stick? The McLaren boys are on the edge of their seats here, but have we made it? Yes, we have made it stick. Norris has passed Sainz, and now just turn it down temporarily. Hang on for a second. Let's got to ride on board here as we go and make a move on Perez. Not now, we're going to set a move up. We're going to set a move up for the home straight on Perez with Norris here. So we're just going to turn things down temporarily here. Turn things down for a split second. Utilise the DRS down this section of the track just to keep in close proximity. Here we go. Here we go. That's it. Left, right. Sweeping left after this section. Then turn up the juice.
Stay close.
Turn up the juice.
Yeah, go on.
Hang on a second. We're passing him here. We're passing him here. Bearing in mind we've just crossed that DRS line ahead of Perez, so Perez will get that DRS once again to fight back. So it's not
Okay, mate. Nice work.
not the best place to pass as this happens. We've got Ferraris behind us. What a mess. We've got McLaren. We're going to lose 2 positions here. We're going to lose 2 positions here. No, we're not. But Norris is... Well, get his elbows out. Get his elbows out, he does. And we have not lost 2 positions, but it's not good. Okay, let's back down to neutral again. Just be careful here. Whoa. I kind of feel like this is slowing us down a little bit. You know, Lewis has got the pace, which means that Norris should have the pace, and obviously Hamilton has lost a place to Verstappen there, and we expect that to happen with the DRS, so we're not overly concerned at the moment. But this is where we are concerned. We need to be passing Perez on the straight and not before that corner. We don't want to be giving Perez DRS to fight back with, so we have to be careful where we pass here. Very tactical this. So let's make sure that we get this right this time, Lando. Why am I pushing still? Is another.
Just be careful with this tyre.
Another question, and I'm just a bit concerned about this fuel and the tyres too. Norris will have to pit first, given the wear of these tyres. Right. There we go. Now we want to be pushing. Now we want to be pushing. We don't want to be passing prematurely. So now we'll have the DRS on both of these cars, and we're going to have to use it because we've been passed by Charles Leclerc, who has passed us and his teammate, putting Sainz down to 6th. So this is a little bit frustrating, but here we go. Here we go again. Let's have a look outside. Oh, we're not close enough. Not close enough here. Oh, golly gosh. So Max and Hamilton pulling away from the rest. Got their own little private race going on, and you know, back to the days of 2021 here, with both of these cars vying for supremacy. Both of these drivers, I should say. It was Hamilton in a Mercedes in 2021, of course, not McLaren. But nonetheless, 2 best drivers on the grid, undeniably so. Battling hammer and tongs. We've got an incident in Sector 2. Nobody's dropping through the timing screen, so it should just be a running wide type situation, I think. It is. Oh no, it's Schumacher. Schumacher's gone off, it seems. But anyway, right, Norris. I'm not going to faff about with these anymore because we don't have much fuel to play with now. We've got to be very careful with the fuel with Norris. Tyres are also critical for the strategy, I would suggest. Yeah, we're well below the line, look. So we need to be careful now. So we've just got to leave him, and we've got no ERS as well, so we've kind of got to leave him in neutrality, which isn't ideal. Well, dropping away from Perez, actually. So, a frustrating part of the race for Mr. Norris, unfortunately. Hasn't managed to get ahead of the front of this train like Lewis did, and therefore he hasn't been able to break the gap, and instead he's stuck right in the mire of it all. But that's the nature of the beast. So let's go to Hamilton. 6/10 behind. Good old Max Verstappen. I was looking for a helmet for Hamilton to get him his kind of yellow or purple helmet. Couldn't find a mod with it on. I only looked for about 10 minutes on the Patreon that I'm on, but there might be other mods out there for helmets. So I'll have a more definitive look after this session. I don't want him to be driving around all season with an orange helmet. Okay, he's got DRS on Max and a pace differential down the straight. This is looking like P1 is on the cards once again. It is indeed.
This is awesome work, Lewis. Come on.
Bono giving words of encouragement there as we have the first pit of the race. It's Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. Probably would have been on the soft tyres then to be pitting this early. This is where we need to be pulling away from Verstappen with a bit of pushing, but I really don't think we will, so I'm just going to let Hamilton continue in this kind of neutral mode. Max will pass us back again, clearly, in this game of cat and mouse. We'll wait until the first pit stops to see whether or not things happen. You know, you never know. Max might buckle under the pressure, like he did in Bahrain. And let's not forget, Max crashed out of the race here last season as well. So he's not got the best of records at this track. So we live in hope. Although again, I'd prefer to beat him on the track in a race like this rather than relying on him making a mistake, to be honest, as he's going to make a pass back on Hamilton. But let's not forget, this is the worst place to pass because of the DRS detection line being right here.
Yeah, don't sweat it, Lewis. Don't sweat it.
For that pit straight. So we should get a chance here to take that position pretty much straight back from him. Jinking to the inside. Pace differential quite significant, and this should be pretty much an easy job as we go up the inside of the first corner. But no. Max is pushing back, fighting back. Are we going to make this move stick? Yes, we pull inside, and we do. Okay, good stuff. Norris, P5, in a train. It's the way it is. Unable to do anything significant. Dragging the Mercedes around. There's a gap to Alonso, who's also passed Bottas now, to go up 2 spots. Bottas pulling away from Gasly quite significantly. Maybe, I would assume, because Bottas has been dragged by the DRS of Alonso, who clearly is the quicker driver at the moment compared to all the cars behind him. But anyway, let's have a look at this. How is it going for Mr. Hamilton? Verstappen, DRS open. Is he going to wait for the pit straight this time? Yes, he might be. He might be. He's all over the back of the gearbox of Hamilton, but he's going to get the DRS now down the pit straight because he's behind at the detection point. Here we go again. Ding, ding, ding. Round 6, 7. Losing track now. DRS open for Max Verstappen. Pace difference not as significant as the pace difference that we get. So, I mean, we're the one with the crappy top speed here. This is quite a surprise that he didn't cruise on by there, to be honest with you. Quite a surprise. But a welcome one. I'm not going to complain. As we ride on board now with Norris. in P5. Leclerc, it looks like, has passed Perez. Failed to spot that one, but he has got past. He's not pulling away, but he is in P3. 3.42 Verstappen. So that gap looks like it might be coming down. Because it was, I'm sure it was about 4 seconds, 3.6 maybe. So this is the part of the track which the DRS significantly helps you. Lewis going up to the inside to try and defend. Max not interested in passing right now, is he? Oh, he is. Oh, he breaks. Goes from the outside. And who was ahead at the detection point? Max was, which means that Lewis gets to fight back. And look at this. DRS open. Oh, Norris has lost a position. Has he? No, he hasn't. Fear not, Norris. He's got DRS. He's got back past Sainz. It looks like there was a bit of a ding dong between Norris and Sainz there. Oh, hang on! Did I speak too soon? Did I speak too soon? Norris and Sainz still by side here. Who's going to get ahead? Going into the next corner. It looks like Sainz has passed Norris, and Norris down to P6. Far from ideal.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
Far from ideal. But it's like that. It's just the way it is. Who remembers that song from the 90s? Yeah. I can't remember how it goes. Was it Run DMC? I think it was Run DMC. Run DMC? It's like that. And that's the way it is. What is the key to end all your woe? I think, was it Run DMC? I have to Google this now, you see. I can't leave you hanging. Okay, we should be paying attention, but we kind of can't do anything with the strategies right now. I think Verstappen may get Lewis here. Let's wait to see. Celine Dion. No, not quite. Not quite. It's not the version I want. It was yeah, it was. Jason Nevis and Run DMC. There you go. Bit of crappy music trivia. Okay, so the gap is coming down. Perez is now 2.9 seconds behind Verstappen. It was 3 point. I'm sure it was up to 4 at one point. If it wasn't, it was definitely 3.6. It's now down to 2.9. So this is probably a byproduct of the hard compound tyres. Gone up to 3.2 all of a sudden. 3.1. Okay. As Verstappen passes Hamilton here as they continue to ride side by side, swapping positions here. These guys have got history at this circuit from 2021. Contact was made, brake checks were done, fighting over DRS lines. It's not quite as dramatic as that just yet, but they've been riding line astern, swapping positions for the entirety of this race pretty much, as Hamilton has DRS down this straight. It seems our car makes better use of the DRS down this straight than the Red Bull does, which is nice, although we didn't pass on that occasion. But our pit window is active, so we're a bit early just yet. We've got ourselves back on the line with Hamilton. I think with Hamilton we're going to go to lap 20. Lando, we're going to have to come in lap 19. A bit early with him. Which is not a bad thing, because I think an undercut with Lando could well be the order of business to leapfrog that train. In fact, it would have to go longer on the hard tyre. but I think it would be a good thing. So undercutting, I think, is the key here. You can undercut some of these cars. So I think not this lap.
Okay, copy.
Or maybe even this lap. It's very early. We've got to go very long on those hards. Sector 2 incident. If there's a safety car or a virtual safety car, we're definitely pitting him. In fact, we'd have
Sounds like
in fact, we'd
someone's
have
locked
to
up.
pit both cars, to be honest with you. Right. Quite tempted to come in now. He's already at 40% tyre wear. Especially if the cars ahead of us don't pit. You have to make a decision now. Obviously, this is paused. I should have put a stipulation on myself for this season that we can't pause it during the race at any time. But hey, the benefits of playing a game. You know, and I'm just one man. I don't have a strategy crew to make these decisions. You see. So we're talking the difference of one lap here. No, we're going to go aggressive. We've not got much to lose. Undercutting could be quite powerful here, so it depends where we're going to come out in the gap as well, as to whether or not this is viable. So if we come out, we're going to come out in 12th. So where's P12? P12 is Sainz, who clearly has already pitted onto hard tyres, funnily enough, so he's going to get the undercut already, and he came into a nice little gap. So we're going to get into a nice little gap if we pit now. So pitting now puts us into a gap, covers Sainz off a little bit, and potentially undercuts these. Well, undercuts him, because don't forget Perez is going longer. So let's do it. Let's do it. Hard tyre right now, this lap. We'll ride on board for the pit stop. Verstappen is pitting,
Yeah, confirm.
which will give him a bit of an undercut on us. So I'm quite tempted with Hamilton to go even longer now, to extend, do the complete opposite to Verstappen. It means that he's going to pull away from us, but we'll have slightly fresher tyres. I don't think extending is very good in this. We tried it in Japan, remember, and it didn't work that great. We were bringing him in on lap 20 though, weren't we? So we'll stick with that plan. We'll stick with that plan. Bring Hamilton lap 20. So we're not extending. We're just sticking to plan. Norris coming in. Leclerc staying out. We may get the undercut on him. So Mercedes coming out into the pits. We've got Red Bull with Verstappen there. We could have slowed Verstappen down a little bit if they had to hold him for us coming past. Might have got Hamilton an extra second in the pocket there potentially. Which makes me think we should probably, if we could have been certain that Verstappen was held for at least a second whilst Norris passed, I'd pit Hamilton now, because it makes the most sense to do that because we get track position. But I'm not 100% certain that we did hold him up enough. P12. Are we ahead of Sainz? No, we're 2.7 seconds behind Sainz, so the undercut definitely pretty powerful here. So we can't really afford to push the tyres, we can't afford to push the engine, we haven't got not much ERS available, so Norris's options here are pretty limited, so he has to just trundle around in this kind of mode here. With Hamilton, he is going to suffer a little bit now, but I think in the long run, hopefully it'll even itself out. We do have a little bit of engine pushing. We can probably afford to push the hard tyres a little bit too because we're coming in later. ERS, not so much, but to beat Max today would be something special. He is quicker. We were only keeping it up to speed with him, I think, because of the DRS. So I do believe that if true pace comes out, we're going to struggle to keep up. But that's not a bad thing. Finishing second, potentially. Leclerc's in. Again, undercut territory. We've still got enough life in these tyres for us to be happy to continue for at least one more lap after this one. I mean, if a safety car or a virtual safety car was to come out now, it would be very good indeed. Loads of cars pitting. It's difficult to keep track of what's going to happen here, so we'll just wait to see what happens when they all come out. When it all comes out in the wash. So we're just riding on board with Hamilton at the moment. Norris to Sainz, 3.8. How did that happen? Was he pulling away that much from us? Ricciardo on a set of hards is within the DRS of Norris, which isn't ideal. It was 2.6 to Sainz, right? How's he gained a second on us? Have I missed a beat here? Has Norris locked up or done something wrong? To have lost a second to Sainz on pure pace? I doubt it. Or is Sainz getting the toe? Sainz is getting the toe from Verstappen. In fact, Sainz is caught up to Verstappen and they've both pitted now, so this is actually for position. So Sainz is being dragged around by Verstappen due to DRS, which is putting him well away from us. So that's the difference in race pace between Verstappen and Norris here. Quite significant. And that's why we've done so well with Hamilton, because we have been able to... we're going to put Hamilton this lap now. I think it's time to bring him in. We've extended a little bit longer than necessary.
So, box.
Well, like, it's that 20, so it's actually where we anticipated coming in. And we can afford to push the tires.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, we've lost a position. We lost a position to flipping to Daniel Ricciardo. Talk about slap in the face. Danny Rick, ex-McLaren boy, has just passed us for track position after the pit stops. This is a race to forget for Lando Norris, I'm afraid. And we're losing time to Sainz, who was being dragged around by Verstappen, but now Verstappen has got past Gasly and Sainz is struggling to do so. So now that Sainz is out of the DRS of Verstappen, he won't get the benefit of being dragged around by the faster car, and that should hopefully maybe allow us to catch him. Although if we're stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo now, that's going to make that less likely to happen, but we'll see. So it's important now to see where Hamilton comes out. Perez is actually looking really, really good for this race as well, because he's on the harder compound, going longer. He'll be on the faster tyre at the back end of this race. Perez is not to be ruled out of this race himself. It could be a 1-2 for Red Bull at this point. Verstappen, where is he? We're not anticipating getting out ahead of him. The issue we've got is we're going to lose pace position to Sainz as well. Maybe even Norris. No, it can't be. Seriously, it can't be. We have definitely lost positions to Sainz and Verstappen. We are coming out ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Norris is caught up, so clearly going longer.
It's a race position gained for a Mercedes.
Oh, God. Norris must have passed him, and he's passed him back again as this ding-dong battle continues. So we are on the fresher hard tyre now, which we will unleash a little bit later in the race when we push them. But for now, Russell's on a worn set. Oh yeah, he's not pit yet, sorry. 92% there. Leclerc is down in ninth. He hasn't done very well out of this pit. So look, running longer has hampered Leclerc. You could argue running longer has hampered us a little bit. I'm hoping that towards the back end of this race, running longer allows us to push at the back end, whereas the other cars might have to conserve. So we're hoping that this pays dividends further down the line. That's what we're seriously hoping. Seriously hoping. Otherwise, we might be actually looking at a P4 finish if Perez does the business, because we have got to get past Sainz, which won't be an easy task. But DRS open for Hamilton as we are powering down this straight. We've got Gasly in front of us, who is yet to stop, surely. We need to pass him as soon as possible, because I can't imagine that he's going to be doing us any favours in terms of his overall race pace, to be honest. So we should really be flying past him at the earliest opportunity Just
It's
saying.
a race position gained for Mercedes.
And Ricciardo has swapped positions with Norris once again. Norris just needs to get past and pull away, but we don't have the tools really to do that at the moment. We are coming back on the fuel though, so we might be able to have a bit of a go. Just want to get Hamilton past Gasly here. This is critical. This is actually quite critical that we get past. So we're going to give him engine pushing. We're going to give him deployment on the ERS. We need to get past. We need to get past, preferably as soon as possible. I mean, here would be good. We've got the pace. Don't back out of it, Lewis. Right, we'll get DRS up here. It's not the best of places to pass, as we know, because he'll get DRS down the straight if we pass him here. But Sainz is pulling away. Norris has just got back past Danny Rick. Right, DRS. Yes, we get it. Right, this has to happen. Come off the corner aggressively as possible. ERS is empty.
We have no battery at the moment.
No battery, but we've got DRS. We've got the pace. Yep, we are coming. We are coming. We are coming. That's it. That's the one. That should turn down, I think.
Just going to need some lift and coast.
Just make sure that we make this move stick. There we go. That should be good. We should pull away now. We should pull away. Got the fresher tyres, of course. And there's no DRS down this section of the track, so we can make our fresher tyres work here to pull away from Gasly. Norris has got ahead of Danny Rick for now. Gasly will be next on that list, of course. So Perez, hard tyres coming in for mediums soon enough. Russell doing the same. We've got Verstappen, who is really the race leader at this point, who's got a 2-second gap on Sainz. Hamilton 2 seconds further back. We're hoping to see this gap potentially come down without too much pushing. We'll keep an eye on that. 2.3. 2.3 is the gap. We need that to come down. Otherwise, P2 is in jeopardy. Unless at the back end of the race, as I said, we managed to make the tyre offset pay for us. It's kind of staying. It's 2.4. I think we're not going to get the DRS from Gasly here, so Daniel Ricciardo may well pass us. We're looking down the straight here. It's looking mightily close, but not close enough. Lando stays ahead. It's right on board now as we need to orchestrate a move past Gasly at some point, if we possibly can, sooner rather than later. Gasly seems to be doing pretty well on those tyres pace-wise, though. He could find himself in a good finishing spot come the end of this race. Got some passing going on down here. What's happening? Some battles here. Oh, we've got 3 cars battling, in fact. We've got... it looks like they might be lapping somebody, potentially. Are they? Vettel and Magnussen. And Albon. Nope, they're all in the line. They're all on track position. So 3 cars. All jockeying, battling for position there. Look at the gap there. The gap there is coming down. It was 7 seconds, now 5.2. So he's gaining on Russell. Clearly they've got the more worn, hard tyres. They will be on the faster tyre to the back end of this race, which is where they're going to hopefully make things pay. But if they get stuck behind slower cars, get stuck in traffic, that could be bad for them. Safety car, virtual safety car right now would put Perez and Russell right into contention for race victory.
This is really good.
Norris past Gasly. Maybe he can use this to actually pull away from Daniel Ricciardo at this point. 2.3, 2.4, still the gap to the Ferrari ahead for Lewis. So he's not gaining, but he's not falling back too much. Kind of matching pace right now, which is not a bad thing, because we do have that tyre differential, which we can use to push towards the back end of the race, conserve that fuel so we can push towards the back end of the race there too. Maybe get us to within the DRS range, and then we can make it pay and get past him. We're hoping. Norris 0.6 to Gasly. Sector 2 incident. Somebody's locked up. And a crash.
Cast.
And a cast. Oh no, no, no
We've
safe.
had a crash.
Oh, it's Russell! It's Russell, he's gone off. He's gone off. He should be fine to recover from there, surely. Yellow flag. No safety cars. So Russell, not really somebody we were battling with, but he was up in P2 and looking like, not too bad. He would have come in for faster tyres for those mediums, but he's gone off. And he's now in P8. His race has been massively compromised due to that mistake. And yeah, that's catastrophic for the Mercedes team. Norris has gapped Gasly. Ricciardo is stuck behind Gasly, which means that we've broken the DRS from Ricciardo. We should be faster than the Mercedes on pure race pace. So that's good for us. Gives us that extra bit of breathing room now with both of our cars. And we're kind of in a situation where we are personally steady. Sainz is in his own little gap, Verstappen's in his own little gap, Perez is in his own little gap, Ricciardo is a second behind Norris, so is Ricciardo quicker than Norris here? Because he's got back into DRS. I think he might be, you know. Either that or he's pushing really hard. Tyres are slightly better, nothing majorly better. Yeah, Ricciardo in that Mercedes is looking pretty quick. To give him his dues, I thought we were going to drive off or drive away from him, but we aren't doing so. And he's got right back into the mix. Interesting indeed, but Hamilton not making any inroads still on Sainz, still 2.3, just perhaps biding his time, you would hope. Verstappen 3 seconds further up the field. I think Verstappen is too far gone at this point. Too far gone. We're not gonna get anywhere near him, I don't think, by the time this race comes to the end. Which isn't really a surprise considering how quick he was in qualifying, to be honest. We had that bit of a battle with him in the first stint, but as soon as we fall out of DRS range, the pace of that Red Bull clearly is showing its true colours here. Perez is that unknown quantity. He was part of that battle, that train that we were in. It was Perez, Norris, Sainz and Leclerc, wasn't it? So, technically speaking, he should still be finishing round about where we are right now, come the end of this race. He will fall further back because of the situation with the pit stop and the tyres, but he will be on faster tyres, so he can make his way back forward, and it depends, can he get past us on the track? Because I've got a sinking suspicion he will be up there come the end of the race, so Perez is the one to watch right now. Leclerc clearly isn't going anywhere fast, and for whatever strange reason the pace of that Ferrari today in Leclerc's hands is not being setting the track alight by any stretch of the imagination. Qualifying in P6. Something is not right there, I'll tell you that much. And Ricciardo with the DRS open now, coming around this curving straight. It doesn't even make sense. But yeah, another dose of it down the pit straight very shortly, and this could be where Daniel Ricciardo gets back past Norris again. Let's go live on board with the Mercedes of the former McLaren man. No, he's not managing to overtake Norris there, which we're quite happy to see. 2.2 seconds the gap now. Okay, a little smidgen closer. Is Sainz in traffic? No. Alright, that's good. Keep going. You keep 2.1. Is this the tyre offset beginning to pay dividends? I don't know, maybe. Maybe. Second place is definitely on the cards for Mr. Hamilton. It's definitely there for the taking. We have got pushing at the back end of this race. We will be pushing at the back end of this race to ensure that we give ourselves the best chance of getting onto that second step of the podium. Verstappen is almost right to the back of his teammate, which means essentially he is a pit stop ahead of his teammate. "20 laps to go in this race." Okay, so Daniel Ricciardo making another move. Oh, this time he's going to get past. He's thundered past there with consummate ease.
Let's get back in the rhythm now.
So what will be interesting to see is if Ricciardo makes a gain on
Mercedes
Hamilton.
moved up a place.
Because we'll see how quick Ricciardo is in that Mercedes compared to Lewis now. .5 is the gap. We shall keep an eye on that. But look at that. Hamilton is gaining on that Ferrari. Slowly but surely. The 7-time world champion can smell a second place here. We have to concede the race victory barring any incident for Verstappen. Safety car to concertina the field could also help as well. But if it stays as it is and there's no further drama, P2 is the best we can hope for. There we go. Norris and Ricciardo continuing to
Nice job.
battle away there. So we're going to have to make sure that we are ahead of Ricciardo at the line.
McLaren with a great overtake.
So they can trade places all day, every lap between now and the end. But when it comes to the last couple of laps, we have to orchestrate it so that Lando is the car that's ahead come the final lap, crossing the line. So we don't want to make our move too soon with him. We don't want to be, using all our toys too soon. We will have a little bit of engine pushing at the end of the race. We may even have a little bit of tyre pushing at the end of the race as well. Not much, but a little. So we can hopefully try to make sure that we use all of that on the last couple of laps to be the one crossing the line ahead. Hamilton now almost less than 2 seconds behind Sainz. We are coming slowly but very surely. We are coming. Verstappen, look how close he is to Perez now. Perez still going on that original set of hard tyres. As Verstappen retakes the lead of this race, and I'll be surprised if he does not relinquish that between now and the end. This will be good for Perez because it will ensure that he gets DRS from the faster car, which is his teammate. He'd be doing well just to tuck in behind Verstappen and utilise that DRS to get himself some extra pace on those old worn tyres. He just has to ensure that he stays within the second through this particular part of the lap when you don't get DRS at all, and it's the twistier, turnier part of the track, which means that your worn tyres here aren't going to be doing a sterling job. But if you can just stay within that second gap, it means that he will get dragged along the back section, which will do his race no harm at all. Although he has just dipped outside. Is his DRS open? He may have just missed it. He has missed it. Can't have been by more than 1/10 of a second there. He's missed the DRS, so that's very disappointing for Perez, but great news for us because he will be battling with us at the end of this race. 1.8 seconds now the gap. Ricciardo and Norris still going at it, as they will be for the rest of this race. Leclerc just not making any inroads at all. Gasly's there in P8, Bottas in P9, battling with Alonso side by side. The Alpine have Alonso and the Alfa Romeos very evenly paced here. So when is Perez going to come in? Is anybody else on the hard tyre that's been out for this long? Yeah, got Gasly's the same there. Vettel too. Hamilton matching the pace of Verstappen. 133.5, 133.5. So we are on the leader's pace. Norris is a 133.6, not doing too shabbily. Sainz on a 133.8, so for whatever reason, Sainz, his tyres could well be his tyres, is just not got the pace at the moment. As Hamilton is beginning to creep up here, and if we pass Sainz within the next couple of laps, we will actually give Hamilton the push order to break that DRS, because we have the race pace on him. So if we can break the DRS, we'll pull away from him, and that just gives us an extra bit of comfort that we need. As Perez now finally pits, so it'll be interesting to follow Perez's escapades through the back end of this race, as he will be putting on soft tyres, which will set the timing charts alight, I suspect. Gasly's in too. So where does Perez come out in the grand scheme of things? We need to hope that the likes of well, literally there's only one car that's going to slow him down a little bit, and that is Charles Leclerc. So if and we know that the DRS is particularly powerful on this circuit, so he shouldn't really struggle to get past, and that puts him literally only 4 seconds behind Rick and Norris. So yeah, as I said, Perez really is a major threat to our second position here, as we are now almost within the DRS range of Sainz with Hamilton. And given that Perez is coming, we need to make sure we pass Sainz, pull away from Sainz as quickly as possible. We don't want to get bogged down into a fight with him, which ultimately will slow us down. So it's happening soon. Expect to see Perez obtain the fastest lap very shortly, I would suggest. Look how close Ricciardo is to Norris here. Looks like, no, let's have a look here, let's have a look. Might be time for Ricciardo to pull his move on Norris now. No pace difference here. Okay, that's good. We like that. We like that view. It means that he doesn't really have the pace he needs to pass, which is grand for us. Right, here we are. We are in with it. We are in DRS now. This is the twisty turny section, of course, so we're not going to get it here. But soon as we go round the long left here, we shall start to make those final bits of inroad into that gap. We've done well to eke that down. Lewis is in a nice little groove here. Some good race pace. He's pulling away from his teammate quite nicely. Hamilton has been the faster driver this weekend. Norris and him were very close at Bahrain in terms of their race pace and their qualifying pace, but Hamilton has just had that edge all race weekend by a couple of tenths of a second per lap usually. So this track obviously favouring him for whatever reason. Perhaps enjoys it more. But here we go, DRS open as we power down. Are we going to get him on the straight? I mean, I hope to be able to pass him on this straight without utilising any toys, because I want to save those toys to pull away from him as they both jink. Lewis goes right, which means Sainz really can't afford to move positions again, but we're not really, unless we outbrake him here, we're not passing. A DRS assisted fastest lap, of course. We had DRS down that back straight.
It doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
Oh no, we have lost position to Ricciardo again. Leclerc there. Perez is coming quickly. It was 4 seconds, it's now 2.6.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
Right, so now we're definitely closer. So now we expect, hopefully, for that DRS to help us more this time around than it did last time. But we need to be passing him, as I said, relatively quickly. Because we do fear Perez's Red Bull. Right, we're off again. DRS should be open very shortly here. Just going to give him a dose of push. Not too much.
And think about less lifting coast.
Just a little dose. Just a little dose there. In fact, no, let's not do that, because we want to give him that dose down the straight. We'll do it that
Lifting
way
coast.
Yep.
Okay, a bit more DRS around this corner. We don't want to be passing Sainz here. Lewis. Lewis. No, no. Oh, he's done it, hasn't he? He's done it. Right, we need to push then. We need to push. Otherwise, we're going to get passed. We're going to get repassed. We don't want to be getting repassed here. Defend. Actually, Sainz won't pass us, it looks like here. We're going to tuck in, tuck in, tuck in. Right, go. Go, 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 go. Deploy. Go, go. We need to pull a second out down this sector. So this is the half of the track where we need to make our move now. Pull a second gap out as quickly as possible. We should do. We were pulling away or catching him on race pace without any toys. So give him all the toys and that second gap should come. It needs to come. We need to be out of that DRS range as quickly as possible here. Round this corner. 9/10. Not a second. We've got it to be a second. There's a DRS line. That was definitely more than a second. Sainz should be out of the DRS range. He is out of the DRS range. We're still going to continue to push with Hamilton for until we get round that final corner and onto the straight, and then hopefully we'll have the race pace to continue on. It looks like we have broken. Yeah, we've definitely broken that second gap, and now we can focus on our race pace, back to balanced, and we were faster, so hopefully now, although it gets a bit of slipstream effect down here, so we might just want to
about increasing lifting coast just a little.
Just be a bit more aggressive here, just to reinforce this. Just need to continue to push. We got a bit of a toe down there, a bit of slipstream. Norris continuing to fight with Daniel Ricciardo. We're not overly concerned. We're going to focus on that battle at the back end of the race. For the moment, it's all about making sure that Hamilton just does not fall into the clutches of Sainz. So it's imperative that we continue to push. .4 seconds. That's good. We'll continue to push again until we get to the final corner. We're going to turn down the tyres now. We'll keep pushing, or we'll keep the lift and coast off until the first corner. Just want to make sure that we don't fall back into the clutches here.
Yeah, that was a good job.
1.4, and it looks like we may well be in a nice little bit of we've broken that gap now. So hopefully now that's us done with Sainz. And that means that all it is left for us to do is focus on Norris, because I think Hamilton should be pretty secure in P2 until Perez comes knocking. Got Sainz covered, I would hope, at this point. We ain't going to catch Verstappen, so it's all about Norris and Daniel Ricciardo at this point. Perez is got past Leclerc. He is coming to the back of this fight. And given there's going to be a bit of a DRS train, which Perez will join, he might not be able to get past both of us that easily. So this could be the rolling roadblock that prevents Perez from making it onto second position. Let's see how long we've been going for here. An hour and a half. But I can't go any quicker. It's just too much happening here. We can manage to pass Ricciardo. I just wonder if at this point now we've got enough on the tyres, enough in the pushing to be able to actually make a gap to Ricciardo at this point. Once on Bottas, switching positions. So Perez is about to join this battle for P4. Coming up to a back marker too, which could throw a bit of chaos into the mix. Safety car would really help Perez out here. It'll constitute the field up, and he'll be on the best tyres of a lot of us at the moment, so it would really help him out. And help Hamilton out, because it puts us with a chance of race victory with some DRS strategy. Right, so Norris has passed Daniel Ricciardo. We're not going to do the pushing just yet, simply because we've got Perez coming, so we've got to be very careful here. Speaking of Perez, Perez is going to make a move on Daniel Ricciardo, pretty sharpish here. This could be, this is bad news for us if he gets past Daniel so easily. It's looking like he's going to make it past. I'd be surprised if Daniel can do anything about that. He is past. Perez will be slicing his way past us, I would reckon, quite quickly. It's not good. I wonder if we could put a bit of
maximum pace
speed in here. Try to pull away from Daniel. Probably the wrong time to do it, actually, because we're in the DRS bit.
Just be careful with this tyre.
We will get DRS from the back marker, so that's going to help us, right? Yeah. It'll help us defend against Perez, at least for this lap. It probably won't help us down the pit straight, but it'll help us at this particular bit. Ideally, we want Perez passing us now for this line. He's not going to do, so he's going to get DRS down the straight and cruise past us, I would suggest. Come on, Norris. Nah. We're a sitting duck. We're a sitting duck.
Let's get back in the rhythm now.
But maybe we'll be able to be dragged along with Perez, which might get us to the back of science. We'll have to see. Can we keep pace? Right on board with Lando here, half a second. Just making sure, seeing if we can keep pace here with Perez, because he'll drag us along quite nicely to the back of science potentially. So we might be able to do something daring at the back end of this race if we can be dragged along. Come on, Norris, just make it stick, make it work. 0.9 seconds. I think we've got DRS, I think we've got it. Oh no, no we haven't. The line is, oh, the line is here. Oh, I think we just missed it. Should maybe have pushed Lando on the fuel here. Ah, we've missed it. We have completely missed it. Oh, we may have missed our chance. That was this could have been a bad move. We should have pushed the tyre and pushed him to keep track with Perez. We're probably too far behind to do it now.
If you can, push. Confirm.
Yeah. I mean, we might get a bit of a tow down the pit straight if we're close enough, bit of slipstream. Daniel's coming too. Ah! Bugger. Okay, that was a mistake. We should have pushed Lando to keep up with Perez to get the DRS advantage there and keep us within that second gap. We were a bit sloppy there, I think. Ah! But you can't get your thing. You can't be perfect every time, I suppose. I mean, we haven't had a bad start to the season, and last season we did really well. So, you know, these little blunders are prone to happening once in a blue moon. But let's have a look. So the gap from Perez to Hamilton is about 7 seconds. And there are 8 laps to go, which means he would have to catch a second per lap. What's his last lap time in comparison? Is it a second faster? It's 8 tenths faster. So that's... And he has to pass Sainz as well, which will slow him down a bit. So it's going to be very close. We knew it was going to be very close, but it's going to be very close for him to be getting P2 here. Still not impossible. Far from impossible. As Norris and Daniel continue to battle. What you need to be doing is pushing with Lando after the first corner, if we're ahead still. Trying to build a set. I don't think he's going to build a second gap on the Mercedes. He doesn't have that outright pace. But we've got a chance to try it because he's not got past us. I'm going to go deploy as well. So we're going to try to use all of our tools to break that second now and see if it helps us get that extra bit of breathing room. This could also be a mistake because we should maybe save these for the last couple of laps to ensure that we're ahead when it matters. We are pulling away quite nicely though, but not enough to be a second ahead. I didn't think we would do. I don't think we have the outright pace to pull away a second in the first sector of this lap. Even with all the toys. We're not... Well, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Does Daniel get DRS? Was he in the range? No, it was outside the range, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Lando pushing it hard. Let's look at the tyre situation. Very similar tyre life. Hamilton got the best condition hard tyres out of all of the leaders so far. Could be a... Well, it's not going to make us gain a position, is it? Verstappen's too far away, but it could help in terms of keeping Perez at bay if necessary. Right, Daniel Rick, 1.2. No DRS, but we'll get a slipstream down this straight. He's got to keep pushing Norris now, because, yeah, look, you see the slipstream effect. We're going to have to push Norris continually a bit further to re-break that second. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Second is the gap. Riding on board, of course, with Ricciardo here to get Ricciardo's view of this situation. Ricciardo's thinking, where the hell's Norris going all of a sudden? Norris is trying to secure P5, my friend. He does not want to be anywhere near you for the remainder of this race. So we saw that with Hamilton and Sainz, 1.5 to 1.6 seconds was the kind of gap that gave us that extra bit of security and seemed to break the slipstream effect down the pit straight. So we're hoping for something similar. We'll keep pushing Norris until the first corner, or the last corner, sorry, leading into the pit straight. We've got almost a 2-second gap now. This is very good for Norris. So we're going to turn him down to neutral now. And let's have a look at some right on board with Norris now. As he's coming round into that sort of final corner, which point will turn down, and that should be him for the rest of the race. Just about 1.7 seconds. Will that be enough now to be comfortable? That should be enough to be comfortable, we hope. 1.6, 1.7, Ricciardo 1.5, down the straight, 1.3. 1.2. This could be a byproduct of our very poor straight line speed as well. 1.2. Let's see if we can pull more than a 1.2 second gap through this twisty a bit without pushing. Not really. So again, this could be a mistake. We should maybe have done this pushing business on the penultimate lap, because if he gets back within the DRS we don't have much to defend against him with on the final lap or two. Anyway, moving to Perez here as we come to the dying embers of this race. He is within the DRS of Sainz. How quickly he gets past Sainz is critical for us, as we are the next car in his line of fire, and he's only 3.5 seconds behind Hamilton, and there's still 5 laps to go after this race, after this lap, sorry. So this is not looking great, I must admit. And I can see Perez is going to be flying past this Ferrari down the straight. Got the better tyre, the stickier tyre, going to have the DRS. He's got everything he needs to cruise on past here. Yeah, look at that. Easy as you like. 3.4 seconds is now the gap. 2.4 to DRS territory. Sector 2 incident. Something's happened to somebody. It looks like it might be Gasly, maybe?
Fuel from now, please.
Sonoda
Yeah,
and Williams locked up. Who knows where he's gone. Right, so with Hamilton, I think what we have to do is we're going to have to keep our toys available to defend. Rather than use them now prematurely, I think we just have to keep them for when Perez gets to the DRS zone. He will be coming.
Copy.
He will be coming. We just have to make sure that we've got enough in the tank to defend him with. He does have a back marker to pass, which might slow him down a little bit depending on where he catches that back marker. Let's have a look. He's catching him at the best part of the track though. That back marker should just glide out of the way for him. Yeah, didn't hold him up at all, did he? Not that he should, but it would have been nice if he did. Right, 2.6 seconds, 1.6 to be in DRS. This is looking pretty bad. I did fear him. I did fear Perez, and it's coming to pass. A Red Bull 1-2 here is looking like it could be the order of business, unless Hamilton
4 laps remain.
can do something. 4 laps, 2.2 seconds. A game of cat and mouse, where the mouse is running out of stamina. The cat is looking more and more hungry as he gets closer, as dinner is within arm's reach. Norris is managing to keep that gap to Ricciardo, so this is looking positive. Got to be careful of the fuel. Very, very precarious with the fuel. We need to get past this back marker. We're passing the back marker at the back end of the back end of this lap, which is good. This is a kind of area we need to be passing him on. Come on, Lewis, put your foot down, mate. It's, unless he's trying to get some DRS from him. Be a bit cheeky, maybe. Yep, he's got DRS. That should help us. Right, we need to be passing him now. We need to be passing him now. There we go. We do pass quite nicely. Perez will be passing him on the home straight, you would think. Should be again quite easy for him to do. 1.6 seconds is the gap now. 1.7. And look at that, right out of the way, nice and easy. 1.8. Hamilton. 3 laps to go. Stop counting the laps down, Bono. It's painful. He's 1.4 seconds, Hamilton. Let me drive. Just imagine the commentary now. Leave me to it. Don't tell me anymore. I can see him in my mirrors, you fool. Okay, 1.1. Oh boy, this is going to be bad. How are we going to defend this? Let's have a look at the tyre date. Let's have a look at the tyre life. 53. Okay, fresher tyres. The degradation is such that probably the pace of, well, like I said, the pace of the mediums start to come towards the pace of the hards, as the degradation on the time lost on the mediums is a little bit more than the time lost on the hard per lap. But clearly the Perez is much faster because he's gained quickly, so that 12% difference in tyre is clearly helping massively. Perez is actually going purple here. He's the fastest man on track at this moment in time, by quite a margin in fact. Oh boy. Spend the rest of this race looking backwards, I think. Right, we've got to be careful now because we need to push this. And push.
And think about left lifting coast.
And deploy. Come on, Lewis. Right, down this straight, we've got no battery.
So we're low on battery.
You've got no battery.
Okay.
This is bad. Perez is just going to blast down. This is easy.
2 laps remaining.
Easy pickings.
Drivers, keep up now.
It's alright, Lewis. It's fine. Maybe we could just, if we can use the pace, keep in the DRS, maybe we can nick it. Maybe we can nick it by being ahead at the right moment at the right time. This is now going to be a battle. Norris has got Ricciardo covered there, so this is where our attention is going to be for the last 2 laps of this race. Lewis has to stick within that DRS now of Perez. We've got a Sector 3 incident. I don't know who it is. It's a yellow flag.
I think that was a crash.
It's Albon. He's still got a wing. Okay, here we go. Look at this. We actually have DRS. We don't want to be passing here, though. Hamilton. We don't want to be passing here. Just saying. Just be steady. Just be steady. Just be steady. We don't want to be passing here. We want to be passing down the pit straight, mate. Okay, we're going to get DRS. We were just behind. We were just behind there. Yes, we've got it. So we should get DRS down this straight. Perez won't get it. And this is now the final lap.
We've just got 1 lap remaining.
Final lap. Full attack. Full push. Oh, we can't push because of that. We've got to go full deployment here. We've got to pull away. Pull. Full deployment. Full pushing. We've got engine. We're very, very...
But hot and temps, just going to need some lift and coast.
We're a bit marginal with the fuel. But we want to be pulling away from Perez as much as we can here.
Save fuel from now, please.
We want to be pulling away from Perez as much as we can here. We might still be able to get second if we can just get a nice gap here. Can we do it? Can we do it? He's going to get DRS as Perez, but we're just trying to get as big a gap as possible so that the DRS doesn't bring him too close to us. We've lost battery. We've lost battery here. Oh, this is tight. This is hellaciously tight. Back to balance with Lando. His tyres have gone off. Ricciardo is coming within a second, but he's not going to make it, I don't think. This is where it's happening, though. Half a second is the gap between Perez and Hamilton. We're coming round to the final corner of the final lap. Verstappen coming round to take the race victory, but that's not where the action is right now. We've got so much. We've got 2:10 separating Hamilton from Perez. Perez will get the DRS for this final straight. Hamilton push the engine, final push on the engine, push on the tyres. Hamilton is ahead, and he's going to take P2. Yes, is he? Is he? You think he's taking it? He's taking it by 1/10 of a second. He's taking it. Holy cow!
We have checkered flag now.
I think Hamilton's out of fuel.
There's a long way to go, but let's keep pushing, guys. I believe in you.
Nice work, Lewis.
He's out of fuel on the line, pretty much, which would be a disqualification, I believe, in real life, but it's not in the game, of course. Oh, that was close.
That is the checkered flag, so we are boxers back.
That was close.
Have to be happy with that.
Great job, mate. Great job.
Wow. So P2 and P5 for our boys today. I think that is as good as we could have hoped for, to be honest with you. Given our relative pace, Hamilton absolutely pulled it out of the bag today and dragged that car into a P2, which really on race pace, you got to say, is where it shouldn't have been. Norris finishing probably where we would expect to have been, which would have been that sort of 4th, 5th, 5th, 6th. So he's bang on where we expected. Hamilton exceeding expectations there. Fantastic race, and even better that he managed to hold off Perez after being passed with 2 laps to go. He fought his way back past and held him off by 1/10 in the end to pick up that vital extra 3 World Championship points. But you've got to take your hat off to the man that is Max Verstappen. He looked a class apart from everybody else this race weekend, and he has taken the full points, much deserved, it has to be said. Fastest lap goes to Sergio Perez, no surprise after coming in for fresh mediums at the back end of the race with a lighter fuel load. That was always going to be a no-brainer. There's your final classification, there's your top 10. Ricciardo did very well for the Mercedes, and Mercedes looked decent pace there, keeping us honest, in fact. But we pulled it out when we needed to. Charles Leclerc, horrendous day for that Ferrari. I don't know what's going on with it, but it was not pacey at all. Lots of work to do for them. The drivers' standings look a little bit like this. Look how close it is. Lewis Hamilton, 43 points. Max Verstappen, 40. Lando Norris, 28. And Carlos Sainz, 24. Leclerc down there on 5th. And Perez, after a dire first race of the season, is now on 16 points. So, yeah, pretty close between the old rivals here. Having a Hamilton-Verstappen rivalry this season would be pretty cool. You just got to say, I say they hate each other is probably a bit strong. Maybe they do deep down, I don't know. But it's clear to see that they are, whenever they get side by side on the track. So there's bound to be drama, regardless of what season it is and what car they're in and how quick the cars are relative to each other. There's always going to be that bit of needle between them, isn't there? Anyway, Constructors' title, 71 points so far from McLaren, but still top of the pile by 15 points as it stands. Red Bull picking up a decent haul there. So it's game on. And Ferrari down on 41 are not to be discounted, although they are not looking particularly good at the moment. Red Bull are the team to beat. They've overhauled Ferrari in the development, as we've already said. So Hamilton there picking up some points, as is Lando. Piastri picking up nothing. And we managed to make another 1.6 million out of that race weekend, so that's all good too. Right, Albert Park is our next circuit, which is coming in 11 days' time. Let's have a look at the car parts development. In 11 days' time, folks, we're going to have a new rear wing and a new front wing. So, I don't think the rear wing will be ready for race day, though, which is a shame. We'll see. But we'll definitely have a new front wing. So, yeah, developments still to come, which is to look forward to. Hopefully will help us take a forward step, and the first this front wing and rear wing will suffer, well, not suffer, but be boosted by additional experience gain from expertise that we are using intents that we are using to get that bonus expertise, which will take effect with this next rendition of our parts. if that makes any sense. I've been talking for an hour and 50 minutes now. It's time for me to have a cup of tea. But anyway, there you go. That's how we stand. It's definitely race on this season as we continue. Albert Park, pretty good track. I like this track. For the third race of the season, what will happen? Will the front wing make us a bit more competitive? Find out next time. Until then, folks, enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. There'll be some more of this coming over the weekend, and maybe some CK2 too. So keep you entertained. But yeah, go forth, enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, it's bye for now.